Okay, we've connected the inline filter to the system. We've connected our circuit to the other side of that inline filter. And all we have to do now is program the controller. So how we're going to do that is we're going to get over into the left side of the menus here. And it's easy enough. We just press the red button once. The cursor comes alive over here on the left side. And the first thing we're going to have to do is select the day and time. So we hit the green arrow, the green button with the arrow, and we can select daylight savings time either on or off. Once we hit the green button again, we'll be able to select the day and the time. Okay. So now the day and time is set up. The next thing we're going to do is set up the cycles for automatic misting. Hit the red button. The menus come active over on the left side. We scroll down to cycles, hit the green arrow to make it active, and we can see we're on the very first automatic misting. And that's correct. We're going to set the first one up, so we'll just advance over here to how many seconds. And we'll just set it up here to 35 seconds. And we can set the time. We'll make it at 6:30, and it's at AM. Hit the green button again, and it cycles back in here. You can see that it's still on number 1, so if we hit the up arrow key with this flashing, it'll go to the second automatic misting. Green arrow, the seconds become alive. We set how many seconds we want to do the second misting. And we set the time. And then we can go to the third misting. Set the seconds. Whoa, goes too fast. There we go. And 8 p.m. is fine. We'll just accept that. We're only going to do 3 mistings. We could go on all the way up to 12. So we hit the stop red button, and it goes back into the previously set running mode. While we're talking about that, let's set the running mode to auto mode. That way when we get done, we won't have to remember to come back and turn the system on. Now we're going to set up the items on the setup menu. The setup menu is here. To get there, hit the menu button once. These menus are active. We're going to scroll down to setup. And if we hit the green button, the setup menus are active. Remote is first. To change the remote seconds, we hit the green button and we can adjust it. Now the remote will go for 45 seconds. We hit the green button and remote is flashing. So below the remote, we've got LRN, which stands for learn. If the remote is conflicting with some other device in the house, or maybe you've got a neighbor who also has a MistAway system, and their remote is working to trigger your system or vice versa, these remotes, they have a tremendous amount of frequencies they can use. All you do is change the dip switches in the remote, on the remote, and you come back to the controller here, find LRN, press the green button, and now the system is in a learn mode, and when you press the remote control, the system will synchronize with the remote and the system, and then that way you can have your unique code. We're not going to do that today. You can check the manual, review those instructions a little closer. We're going to set the manual mist. We hit the green button, and now we can change the seconds, whatever we want the manual mist to be. Make it 45 seconds. Manual mist is, if you're at the controller and you want to trigger a mist, you can hold down both the up and down arrows for 5 seconds and it'll trigger a mist cycle. And of course this is going to be the duration, whatever we set in this setting. Now that that is finished, we'll scroll down. We have to set the nozzles on this system. Hit the green button, and now we can change to whatever nozzles are in the system. We're going to set this at 30. And after we get the nozzle set, we can scroll down and set the agitation for the unit. This is the once a day agitation that happens automatically. If we hit the green button, we can set how many seconds we want it to agitate. We'll set it for 300 seconds. That would be 5 minutes. And we'll have that happen at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, it's at 3 o'clock p.m. Agitate 300 seconds. And we've got the item flashing. We can scroll down. Okay, now this is the remote agitation. So if you're going to use the remote, how long do you want the agitation cycle to go when you press the remote? So every time you get a mist, it's going to agitate. This allows you to adjust the time of the agitation when you use the remote control. So remote agitation, we hit the green button and we can set the amount of seconds. We can agitate for 20 seconds, that's good. And now that's finished. Next is tank. TNK is tank. That's a 55-gallon drum. I'm not going to change that. If you've got a wind sensor, that's an option. If the wind gets to be too high, your wind sensor will inhibit the system from misting if the winds are too high. We don't have that today. We're not going to set that up. If you buy that option, the instructions will be there, and you can set it up. So this is also a wind selection, and that's also a wind selection. So now we're back at remote. So that's how you set up the items in the setup menu. We hit the red button, and we're back into the operation mode.